This is Perth's Busport. This is the side entrance to Perth Main Station Platform 5. If you walk this way, which is to the west, there is actually a bus station over here, which is the Perth Busport. Perth Busport opened on the 17th of July 2016 with an open day on the 13th of July, just a few days prior, which I actually attended. It replaced the Wellington Street bus station, which opened way before in 1973, named Perth Central, but later renamed in 1989 to Wellington Street bus station. This closed on the 12th of January 2014, although it still served some bus services that operated along Beaufort Street until the 27th of January, because there was roadworks in the area. There was another temporary Wellington Street bus station located here to serve further services from the 6th of July 2014 until the 1st of February 2015, although most services were temporarily served at the very ugly concrete Rose Street bus station, which I would give a rating of 1 star. This closed before this bus station began operation. So this is the Yagan Square entrance to the bus station, and you can see all those display boards outside make it feel like an airport. There's an info center in here and all the bus maps and everything, though this info center is so close to other info centers at both Perth Underground and Perth Main Station, but I guess that's what the city is. So you can see all these routes. The main target of the bus station is to serve northern routes which enter the city, while Elizabeth Quay bus station serves southern routes. You can travel over to the beach, up Orrong Road, or over to the eastern areas such as Morley with 67 and 68, although other routes operate from the outside. Here are the plaques commemorating the opening and the artwork here, and then that's pretty much it up here on the main level, because the rest of the bus station is all underground in a nice air-conditioned lounge with 160 seats, 2 kiosks, many digital information displays, and double glazed windows. So let's head down the escalator now. Now, this is obviously the main entrance from Perth Station, although there are 2 other entrances for pedestrians at the Queen Street entrance and King Street entrance. At the moment, and since it opened, these are minimally used because there's minimal development around the area, but in the future there will be lots more buildings and they'll be used much more as they blend in among the buildings. So here we are now in the main passenger lounge. You can see the glass all the way around and the buses which loop around the outside in the underground road. Basically there is 16 stands grouped into 4 different sections. There was one of the kiosks, and here's the toilet right in the middle where the Queen Street entrance is. And then we can continue down. Now, for a while, quite a few years, buses would depart from either of these 4 sections. Now, I'm not exactly sure if it's still like that, but in terms of passenger information, they changed it to become only 2 zones. Now, these screens show the bus information, such as when it's scheduled to depart, if it's late, where the destination is, and a camera of the bus. That was route 389, one of my local routes over to Wanneroo. And here's route 220, all the way to Armadale Station, which is a very long way from stand 16. Now, the routes A and B are... No, the zones A and B serve the opposite sides of the bus station. One is from Queen Street to King Street, and one is from Queen Street to Yagan Square. So buses operate on a dynamic stand allocation system, which is very unique for this bus station, and makes it one of the most modern stations in Australia, as it operates in this way to allow for maximum efficiency during peak hours.
Ground floor. Exit rear doors. Doors opening.
Okay, so we've just come up to the top of the King Street lift. Obviously here there's another round of information and all that stuff which we just looked at the Yegan Square entrance. Now we're going to head outside and take a look around what is here, the King Street entrance. So yeah, as I said, the dynamic stand thing makes this bus station very special. So it basically means the bus doesn't have a designated stand until it comes very near the bus station. Although if there is some sort of malfunction or disruption, there are designated stands for the routes, which can be used if needed. So here there's a pedestrian dedicated crossing which can take you over to the buildings over there in the RSC arena. But you can see everything else around here is pretty empty. This is actually where they're going to build a new Edith Cowan University campus to replace the aging Mount Lawley one right in the heart of the city, and a lot of other buildings in the future, because the main purpose of making Perth Busport was to remove the large Wellington Street bus station which blocked space between Perth CBD and Northbridge. So now with it underground, it can now all be connected together with the paths and a lot of buildings around here. So when this was filmed in May, it was still open like this and you could walk along. However, now it's closed because they're already doing development works, so you can't really access the Queen Street entrance. I mean, you can, but it's pointless to, because you would have to walk there. So this is it, Queen Street in the middle here. I don't know at the moment why anyone would use this, because there's nothing nearby. It's just a middle entrance which is completely desolate at the moment. It's probably the least used transit station entrance anywhere in the network for the years that it's been here with nothing around. And it looks pretty similar to the other two as well. Another map and information and times and an ad as well. And then you can head down the escalator, stairs or lift. However, for the Queen Street there is actually only one escalator, because it's a less important entrance, so they only built one to go up, none to go down. Anyway, here's the lift now. We'll take it back down.
Doors closing. Lounge level. Exit rear doors. Doors opening.
Now the bus station even contains a phone, a bin and a lot of timetables. Now listen to this announcement here when one of the stands changes.
Passenger service 28 will now be departing from stand 9. Attention passengers, service 28 will now be departing from stand 9.
Very weird to have such a loud announcement made by a human, made on the spot by a human, not by something pre-recorded. Really makes it feel like an airport here, and this whole air-conditioned lounge and everything. Anyway, we're gonna view a few of the buses now here from the glass through the double glazed windows and see if we can see a few, even though it's quite a bad view because of that, and we can look at them on the screens. But then we'll head out to some of the other bus entrances and take a look around and watch some buses from there. Perth Busport also has a lot of layover bays within it. Basically all around the circular loop, buses can park along the outside in layover. However, it's still quite small, and for longer breaks, bus drivers go over to the James Street layover, which is over to the northwest of the bus station. We'll go and take a look at it later. And that is also where Transperth stores most of their security vehicles and other PTA vehicles too. Now the bus station is really served by too many routes to mention all individually, but I'll just try to get the main gist of it. It has a few high frequency routes, including the 960, which is the only bus route to pass through this bus station. operating from Curtin University to Mirrabooka or Mount Lawley ECU, where a lot of the services terminate. And then there's the 970, which goes along Charles Street and Flinders Street over to Mirrabooka bus station. The 990 travels to Scarborough Beach bus station via Glendalough Station and Mount Hawthorn. And the 910 travels to Fremantle Station via Victoria Park Transfer Station and Canning Bridge Station. Now the 910 is the only St George's and Adelaide Terrace route to actually come to Perth Busport. I don't know why they did that, but they just decided to not make it go to Elizabeth Quay, and instead it comes up Milligan Street and enters this bus station. It is also served by the Perth Cat, the blue one, since the 5th of December 2021 changes, and the yellow cat is located just outside on Wellington Street. It doesn't enter the bus station because that just wastes too much time, but announcements on the yellow cat do tell you to alight at the Yagan Square stop for the bus station. The red cat is also pretty close by, next to Perth Station. Now, other routes from the bus station are basically in a few main groups. The 30, 31 and 34 travel down to Elizabeth Quay bus station, which are the three connecting routes between the two, as well as the Blue Cat. There are a few services which travel up Fitzgerald Street on the dedicated bus lanes, and these are 19, 960 and the limited stops 360, 361 and 362 services towards Alexander Heights and Beltura. Then there is also two routes to Mirrabooka bus station, but these ones go via Beaufort Street, which are 67 and 68, on top of the others that also go to Mirrabooka, as I said before. Then there is the 80 group, which is 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, heading out to different places in the west, such as City Beach, Wembley Downs, and also up to Glendalough Station. 28 also follows these routes out from the bus station onto Wellington Street westbound and goes to Claremont Station, while 384 to 389 services exit the bus station onto Charles Street and then travel up Wanneroo Road to various destinations, including Mirrabooka bus station, Kingsway City Shopping Centre, Warwick Station and Wanneroo on one of my local routes. Okay, now we're going to take a quick ride on TP 2261 here, out to some of the other entrances of Perth Busport for the buses. And this is one of XT's trains, planes, buses and automobiles favorite buses. He's been asking me on my YouTube channel for ages to film this, like really months. And there's a sign that you can see, it says the bus number and the route number and how long it's meant to depart in, and a camera that shows it. And now we're going through the tunnel up towards the Charles Street Bridge and exit. So yeah, this is 2261. Finally, that user on YouTube can see this bus, because they've been asking me for so long to film it. I kept telling them, wait for the Perth Busport video. I filmed it in that, but it's been like 6-7 months, even longer, since I filmed this. So it's pretty crazy. Okay, now this is the most eastern point of the bus station. If the buses can only do a U-turn there to go around the air-conditioned lounge, then they head back in the other direction. There's only two tunnels to access it. The Wellington Street tunnel, which emerges straight out to the Wellington Street, William Street, Horseshoe Bridge intersection. And the buses can dip in and out of there and then head along Wellington Street East. But actually very few routes use that, because as I said before, only routes 220, 960 and 38 head that way, as well as 67 and 68 when heading up Beaufort Street. And the 30, 31 and 34 when heading down William Street. Not that many routes. The other tunnel entrance is the one that heads out to Wellington Street West, as well as Charles Street and Fitzgerald Street. There's 3 different ways the buses can go if they use this tunnel. And this tunnel is also lined with bus layover bays along it as well. So we're heading up here now. Services 81 to 85, as well as 28 and 910 to Fremantle. Turn left as soon as you exit the tunnel, next to RAC Arena and the Joondalup Airport and Fremantle Line tracks, and travel down on Milligan Street or Wellington Street. Other services continue parallel to the train tracks and next to RIC Arena, and then travel across the bridge across the train tracks to go out to the other destination. So you can see there's that exit that I was just talking about, and now we go past RIC Arena here. This bus service is going all the way out to Charles Street and then turning left. So you go up the bridge, and then a right turn, slow, pretty much 30 km/h recommended speed. You cross the train tracks here, and then you dip back down. Now that's the Mitchell Freeway right there. You can see it here. You run parallel to it on this bus-only way. Now here you can turn right to head out to Fitzgerald Street, which is what the 19, 960, 360, 361, 362 and Blue Cat do. And there's also where the James Street layover bays are, as I was saying before, where the buses can go and lay over when Perth Busport is too full. All other services continue straight along this road, past this little lake there, and then come up to the intersection of Charles Street and the exit of the freeway exit ramp, as well as another road which connects over there, which is Newcastle Street, which cuts straight across that intersection. So we're at it now here, and then the bus will turn left here, but they can also go straight ahead on bus-only lanes up Wanneroo Road. Tagging off now from 2261, just one stop out from Perth Busport. This is still in the free transit zone. Here we are. We'll watch 2261 depart. And also you're gonna see our other favorite bus, XT, which is 2260 in a moment. So here is route 15, 402, 403 and 404 service this bus stop here, which travel out to Stirling, Glendalough and Tuart Hill. Now let's watch some buses coming off the Charles Street bus bridge exit and onto it too. And here's TP2260, the other favorite bus of XT trains, planes, buses, and automobiles. And you know what? I actually have a bonus clip of this bus, which I took at a different time at Warwick Station. Here it is, just for you, since you've been waiting for so long. Very personalized to that user, but here it is, on a Route 425 service to Stirling Station, departing Warwick Station. There goes TP2260. Anyway, this is not about Warwick. Let's head back and watch some more buses. Okay, now I've come over to the Fitzgerald Street exit from the Charles Street bus bridge, which we passed before. You can see there's a bus only lane there to take you up, but all the other cars have to turn around if they come down this road. Only buses can go on the bridge. And here to the right is the James Street layover base, which I was talking about before, where the buses go in. And there's actually some weird traffic light system here for buses exiting there. And apparently I'm not meant to go past this spot. No pedestrians, so we're not going to. Let's just watch some buses coming here now. Okay, another bus ride, this time on TP2141, a future bus cat. Turning right from Fitzgerald Street now onto this little section of road here, where I was just filming, which is James Street. We're gonna go down here and then onto the Charles Street Bridge again. So, just a turn in a second as soon as those cars go by. Here we go. And now turn left onto the bus only way. James Street layover is right there. There's another bus coming out. Give way to any buses already on the bridge and then head up. Now we're crossing in the other direction. You can see the city right there. It's quite a weird entrance because this entrance feels so fast. You're in suburbia and then all of a sudden you cross the bridge and you shoot straight down into the city in the underground bus station. A Joondalup line service just went under us right there, you can see it. And now we're heading back down parallel to the tracks where we were before. So CAT services used to be a loop through Northbridge, and I went on the last ever Blue Cat service to do the Northbridge loop. You can watch that video in the corner. But then on the 5th of December 2021, the Blue Cat was extended to come to Perth Busport, which is something I always wanted, a cat in the Busport. The yellow cat passes so close by but doesn't go in. Now it finally does. Anyway, now we're heading into the bus station from this tunnel. You can see these blue boards here which say all the bus knows and their designated stand, and it says if you receive NA, please use the radio to contact the bus control people. Even says up there on the little announcement panel, next stop is Perth Busport, a unique feature of the cats. Anyway, now we're out here at the third entrance, the one from Wellington Street and Milligan Street. Another train is right there, and there's also some very weird arrangement here with a stop sign, but then also a traffic light. I don't know why it's like that. There's a little two-light traffic light, red and then blinking orange, which means you still have to stop at the stop sign and watch for buses. But I don't get the purpose, because sometimes it holds buses for no reason there, when they could just stop at the stop sign normally and then go. So very awkward that. Now this is also the entrance to the RAC Arena underground car parking. The cars can come up to here and then go in, but obviously they can't go onto the busway. So we'll just watch some buses from here now, either going into the tunnel and along the Charles Street Bridge or turning onto Milligan Street. And finally, I've come to the Wellington Street eastbound bus entrance. This is the second tunnel that heads into the bus station. Buses come up straight into the middle of Wellington Street and then cross across into the dedicated bus lane on the right side of the road, like the most right-hand lane, as this bus is doing right now, which actually means that they don't stop at the stop right outside Perth Station if they come through here. So they go like that, and that's why during the Christmas pageant disruptions, buses were meant to use the Milligan Street exit and then still come back here, so they could be on the left lane to serve the Perth Station stop, even though they don't usually do that. Okay, now let's watch a few of the buses going into the tunnel from here. There's some nice green and white pattern on the wall there and a Transport logo as you enter. We'll also watch some buses coming down William Street from Elizabeth Quay bus station and turning right past Perth Station. Anyway, we've looked at everything there is at this bus station now. It is such a wonderful bus station and great improvement on the old Wellington Street and Rose Street bus stations. Underground, air-conditioned, full of facilities, the dynamic stand allocation system, tunnel entrances, 3 pedestrian entrances which will be integrated into the surrounding buildings. It's so amazing. It's definitely 5 stars. 5 stars plus. If I could give it more, I would, because it's just amazing. I know I gave Morley Bus Station 5 stars last time, but that's about as best as it can be for a suburban station. You don't need much more. But then this in the city is just amazing. I love this bus station. It's so good. Like an airport, and when you say something is an airport that isn't, you know that it's well organized. Beautiful bus station, highest rating you can possibly get. It's like the best and most organized bus station that there is.